35. Worst secret offspring of Hollywood's forbidden affairs. Welcome to Uncovered Tinseltown Uncovered. Get ready for an explosive journey behind the velvet curtain of Hollywood, where the most shocking family secrets have been hidden for years. Imagine finding out your entire life has been kept in the shadows, and your real father is a Hollywood icon. From hidden children of rock stars to the secret love children of famous actors, these untold stories will blow your mind. You won't believe who's been living in the shadows. Hit that subscribe button like this video, and comment below to let us know which scandal shocked you the most. Augustine James Evangelista born in October 2006, became the center of one of Hollywood's most sensational paternity dramas. His mother, the iconic supermodel Linda Evangelista, and his father, French billionaire François-Henri Pinault, CEO of Kering, were involved in a brief but intense affair. At the time, Pinault was in a relationship with actress Salma Hayek, making the situation all the more complicated and scandalous. However, Pinault initially denied that he was Augustine's father despite overwhelming speculation. Pinault's public denial led to a dramatic DNA test, which was sought to establish the truth once and for all. The test confirmed what many had already suspected: Pinault was indeed Augustine's biological father. This shocking revelation came in 2007, but was kept under wraps for a while. Despite the official confirmation of paternity, the relationship between father and son has remained unclear. Pinault's involvement in Augustine's life has been minimal, and there are no public indications that he has taken on an active role as a father figure. In 2012, after much legal wrangling, Linda Evangelista and François-Henri Pinault reached a settlement that required him to provide financial support for Augustine. The terms of the settlement were reportedly favorable for Augustine, ensuring his future financial stability. However, the emotional and familial bond between father and son has remained distant, with Pinault choosing not to be an active participant in Augustine's upbringing. Augustine's story is one of secrecy, legal battles, and the intersection of Hollywood fame and fortune. While his mother, Linda Evangelista, continues to be one of the most revered models in the world, Augustine's life has remained largely out of the spotlight. His case serves as a reminder of how Hollywood's most private affairs can be exposed, often leading to a complicated and sometimes strained relationship between parents and their hidden children. William Luca Costa Marsden. In the world of Hollywood drama, the birth of William Luca Costa Marsden in 2012 stands as one of the more intriguing and unexpected secrets. James Marsden, an actor known for his roles in X-Men: The Notebook and Enchanted, had a hidden romance with model Rose Costa, which resulted in the birth of their son. Their relationship had been kept under wraps for months, with Marsden's personal life frequently scrutinized by the media. However, despite the secrecy surrounding his personal affairs, the birth of William eventually became public knowledge. Marsden, who had been married and had children from his previous relationships, initially chose to keep the paternity of his son private, leading to rampant speculation and rumors. In Hollywood, where personal lives are often under a microscope, Marsden's decision to withhold this information raised eyebrows. However, after several months of intense media speculation and whispers, Marsden publicly acknowledged his son in 2013, confirming the relationship between himself and Rose Costa. The revelation was as dramatic as any plotline in one of Marsden's films, but the actor faced the situation with maturity and commitment. Despite the initial drama, Marsden and Costa decided to move forward with co-parenting their son, focusing on providing him with a stable and loving environment. The couple's decision to work together despite their initial secrecy reflects the personal responsibility that Marsden was willing to take as a father. In interviews, Marsden has expressed how important it is to be involved in his children's lives, and his relationship with William has flourished as a result. William Luca Costa Marsden's story is one of hidden love, public scrutiny, and the eventual embrace of fatherhood. Marsden, once a rising star in Hollywood, now finds his personal life intertwined with his role as a parent, demonstrating that even in the most glamorous and secretive circles, parenthood can take center stage. Delilah Stewart. Delilah Stewart's arrival into the world was anything but ordinary. Born in 2011, Delilah is the daughter of Benicio del Toro, the Academy Award-winning actor best known for his roles in Traffic and Guardians of the Galaxy, and Kimberly Stewart, the daughter of legendary rocker Rod Stewart. Despite the public prominence of both parents, their relationship remained shrouded in secrecy for years. Neither Del Toro nor Kimberly publicly acknowledged their brief affair, and for much of Delilah's early life, the details surrounding her paternity were kept quiet. The intrigue surrounding Delilah's parentage only grew as rumors swirled. Del Toro and Kimberly had kept their relationship entirely private, and no photographs of the two together surfaced in the media. However, in 2012, the truth came to light when a representative for Del Toro confirmed his role as Delilah's father. Despite this revelation, the pair continued to maintain a very low-key approach to their co-parenting, rarely seen together in public as a family. Despite the secrecy, Delilah Stewart has enjoyed a relatively normal childhood, far removed from the often chaotic public life of celebrity children. However, the media's continued fascination with her lineage has ensured that she remains a subject of interest. Interestingly, Kimberly Stewart's prior relationship with Cisco Adler, a rock musician, also added layers of complexity to the family dynamic, further fueling speculation and interest in her relationships. Though Delilah Stewart's story could have been one of scandal and tension, it instead reflects a more private and reserved approach to family life, with both parents opting to raise her outside the glare of the media spotlight. Delilah's upbringing, though rooted in Hollywood's celebrity culture, offers a glimpse into how a child can grow in the public eye while still maintaining a sense of normalcy and privacy. Eric Lee Preminger. The story of Eric Lee Preminger is one of profound family secrets and dramatic revelations that shook his world at the age of 17. Born in 1943, Eric was initially raised by Alexander Kirkland, an actor, and the husband of his mother Lee, an actress. For much of his childhood, Eric believed Kirkland to be his biological father. But everything changed when he uncovered a truth that would turn his world upside down. Driven by a deep curiosity about his true origins, Eric set out to discover who his real father was. The search led him to a shocking discovery: his biological father was none other than the renowned filmmaker Otto Preminger, the director of classics such as The Man with the Golden Arm and Anatomy of a Murder. Preminger had been intimately involved with Lee during the early 1940s, but after Lee married Kirkland, Otto had been forced out of their lives. The revelation of Otto's paternity came as a complete surprise to Eric, who had spent most of his life believing in a different family narrative. Although Lee had known all along who the father was, she had kept the secret from Eric for years, and even demanded that he never contact Otto. This secrecy added an additional layer of complexity to Eric's relationship with his mother, leaving him with mixed emotions about his newfound family history. Eric's story is an intriguing and poignant tale of identity secrecy and the pursuit of truth. While his biological connection to Otto Preminger was undeniable, the emotional bond between father and son was not instant. Eric's search for answers ultimately led him to understand his complex lineage, but it also forced him to come to terms with the secrets that had shaped his life. Today, Eric's life serves as a reminder of the complex, sometimes hidden nature of family dynamics in Hollywood's golden era. Henry Driver. The paternity of Henry Driver, born in 2008, became one of Hollywood's most intriguing mysteries, particularly because his mother, actress Minnie Driver, was tight-lipped about his father's identity for many years. Known for her breakout role in Good Will Hunting, Driver found herself at the center of speculation when she announced her pregnancy, choosing to keep the details of Henry's father a closely guarded secret. As the world eagerly watched her every move, the press relentlessly speculated about who the elusive father could be. Rumors quickly surfaced, with some naming Timothy J.L., a prominent television producer from CSI New York, as the potential father. However, Driver did not publicly confirm or deny any of the gossip, keeping the identity of Henry's father under wraps. This secrecy only fueled the media frenzy as tabloids ran wild with theories pointing to various high-profile men who had been linked to Driver in the past. Driver's refusal to reveal Henry's father only deepened the mystery, and despite numerous media inquiries, the actress remained resolute in her silence. The identity of Henry's father remained a topic of heated discussion for years, but in interviews, Driver stated that she chose to protect her son from the public eye, keeping his life as private as possible. The lack of public acknowledgement of his father's identity has meant that Henry's story remains one of the most unresolved and fascinating tales of Hollywood secrecy. Even though the paternity of Henry Driver remains unconfirmed, it's clear that his mother prioritized his well-being over the rumors. As he grows, Henry continues to live a life shielded from the media glare, and the ongoing mystery surrounding his father is unlikely to ever fully fade. Driver's choice to protect her son's privacy, despite the public interest, highlights her desire to keep their family life as normal and grounded as possible. Angel Iris Murphy Brown. The story of Angel Iris Murphy Brown, born in 2006, became one of the most high-profile paternity scandals in Hollywood. Angel's mother, Mel B of the Spice Girls, had a brief relationship with actor Eddie Murphy, and when she announced her pregnancy, the public's curiosity reached a fever pitch. Eddie Murphy's initial response was one of denial. He publicly stated, "I don't know whose child that is until it comes out and has a blood test," which sparked widespread media attention and public outrage. Despite this, Mel B has been steadfast in her commitment to raising Angel as a single mother, and the two share a strong bond. Angel Iris Murphy Brown's arrival and the subsequent paternity drama reflected the ongoing struggle many celebrity children face when their parents' personal lives intersect with public scrutiny. As Angel grows older, the early battles over her paternity have settled, and she enjoys a relatively normal life, shielded from the intense media attention that once surrounded her. The story of her birth remains a reminder of how even the most private moments in a celebrity's life can become public spectacles. Xander Dane Jones. Xander Dane Jones, born in 2011, is the secret son of actress January Jones, best known for her role as Betty Draper in the hit TV series Mad Men. For years, the identity of Xander's father remained one of Hollywood's most talked-about mysteries. Jones, who had been romantically linked to several high-profile men, including actors Jason Sudeikis and Ashton Kutcher, kept the identity of her son's father tightly under wraps. Her decision to keep her son's father a secret fueled rampant speculation in the media, and every new rumor was picked up and dissected by tabloids and fans alike. In a 2015 interview with the Edit, Jones explained that her decision to raise her son alone was a conscious one, stating, "I knew I would be raising my son alone. It was something I went into knowingly, and I was excited about it." Despite the widespread media interest, Jones has consistently refused to publicly identify Xander's father, stating that when the time comes, she would be the one to reveal the truth to her son. She emphasized her desire to protect Xander from the media spotlight, and from a young age, she has kept him out of public events. Throughout the years, the mystery surrounding Xander's paternity has become a defining part of his story. Jones has been vocal about her intention to shield her son from the intense scrutiny that comes with being a Hollywood child, keeping him grounded and out of the limelight as much as possible. As he grows, Xander continues to lead a relatively private life, with his mother's steadfast protection helping to ensure that he grows up away from the sensationalism that has surrounded his birth. While the mystery of his father's identity remains, Xander's upbringing reflects Jones's commitment to raising him in a loving, secure, and private environment far removed from the chaos of Hollywood. Laya Ara Wilson. Laya Ara Wilson, born in October 2018, is the youngest child of actor Owen Wilson, known for his roles in Wedding Crashers and The Royal Tenenbaums, and model Veroni Vong Verities. Laya's arrival into the world was anything but smooth, as it was shrouded in secrecy and controversy from the beginning. The relationship between Owen Wilson and Veroni, which lasted for approximately 5 years, was private and mostly kept out of the public eye. However, when it was confirmed that Veroni was pregnant with Wilson's child, the media took notice, and Wilson's response was less than welcoming. Wilson, who had previously been open about his other children, refused to be involved in Laya's life from the very beginning. Reports surfaced that he had no intention of seeing his daughter even after her birth. In fact, Wilson went so far as to check the no visitation box in a court petition, signaling his complete disinterest in having any part in her upbringing. Legal documents also revealed that he initially demanded a DNA test to confirm his paternity, which added further strain to the already difficult situation. While Wilson has been vocal about his reluctance to acknowledge Laya Veroni has raised their daughter largely on her own with support from her family. Laya has lived a relatively quiet life, largely shielded from the public eye due to the lack of involvement from her father. Wilson's refusal to take responsibility for his daughter has left many wondering about his relationship with Laya. While he continues to have a successful career, his personal life has been marked by controversy, especially regarding his relationship with Veroni and his refusal to engage with Laya. The story of Laya Ara Wilson serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of Hollywood relationships and the impact of a father's absence on a child's life. Brandon Howard. Brandon Howard, born on February 14, 1981, is a singer and the alleged son of Michael Jackson, the king of pop. The paternity of Brandon became a global sensation in 2013 when a DNA test allegedly revealed a 99.9999% match between Brandon and Michael Jackson. The DNA test, conducted by an independent lab, sent shockwaves through the media as it confirmed that Brandon was the biological son of the late pop legend. Brandon's mother, singer Miki Howard, had been romantically linked to Michael Jackson during the early 1980s, leading to widespread speculation about his paternity. Brandon, who goes by the stage name B. Howard, had always maintained a low profile in the entertainment industry before the DNA test results were made public. Upon the revelation, Howard spoke out publicly, denying any intention to pursue the Jackson family's fortune. "I don't want anything from them," he said, further distancing himself from the massive inheritance tied to the Jackson estate. Despite the confirmation of his paternity, Brandon chose not to claim his place within the Jackson family's legacy. Although Howard's resemblance to Michael Jackson is striking, and the DNA test results undeniably suggest a biological connection, the situation remained a highly debated topic. Michael Jackson's family, particularly his siblings, did not confirm Brandon as an official member of the Jackson clan. Brandon's story is a curious blend of fame, mystery, and the desire for privacy, with his decision to focus on his music career rather than pursuing media attention or legal claims being a defining feature of his response to the revelation. In the years since, Brandon has worked in music and entertainment, choosing to carve out his path rather than lean into the media frenzy surrounding his paternity. His story continues to be a fascinating chapter in the complex web of Michael Jackson's personal and professional life. Joseph Baena. Joseph Baena, born on October 2, 1997, is the son of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the world-renowned actor, bodybuilder, and former governor of California. Joseph's story made headlines in 2011 when his existence was revealed to the public after a long period of secrecy. Arnold had a secret affair with Mildred Baena, a member of the family's household staff, which resulted in Joseph's birth. For years, Arnold kept his paternity hidden from the public, while Mildred continued to raise Joseph in the privacy of their family home. The affair, which occurred while Arnold was still married to his wife, Maria Shriver, remained a secret until Arnold himself revealed the truth during a therapy session with Maria in 2001. It was then that Arnold confessed to fathering Joseph with Mildred, a revelation that caused a public scandal and ultimately led to the couple's separation in 2011. The news of Joseph's paternity was widely reported, but the public was left to wonder how this secret had remained hidden for so long, given Arnold's fame and the close-knit nature of the Schwarzenegger family. Joseph, who had grown up unaware of his father's identity, was thrust into the media spotlight after the revelation. Despite the initial shock, Arnold eventually embraced his son, and Joseph has become a part of his family. even developing a close relationship with his half-siblings, including actor Patrick Schwarzenegger. Joseph has often been spotted in public with Arnold, and their father-son bond appears to have grown stronger over the years. Joseph Baena, much like his father, has shown an interest in bodybuilding and fitness following in Arnold's footsteps. He has also pursued a career in acting, gaining attention for his striking resemblance to his famous father. Joseph's story is one of redemption as he navigates life in the shadow of his father's public persona, ultimately embracing his role as a member of the Schwarzenegger family while also building his own identity in the entertainment world. Giovanni Jackson. Giovanni Jackson, born on August 30th, 1974, is the secret daughter of Joe Jackson, the patriarch of the iconic Jackson family. Giovanni's story is one of secrecy, scandal, and eventual revelation that rocked the Jackson family, especially because she was born from an affair Joe Jackson had with a woman named Cheryl Terrell. For years, Giovanni was kept out of the public eye, and the true nature of her relationship with the Jackson family was unknown. She was not introduced to the public as part of the famous Jackson clan until later in life. Giovanni was raised by her mother, and her paternity was not confirmed until later in her life. Even after learning that Joe Jackson was her biological father, Giovanni faced years of exclusion and cold treatment from the Jackson family. Her existence was kept a secret for much of her childhood, and it wasn't until much later that Joe Jackson publicly acknowledged his daughter. In a 2011 interview, Joe confirmed Giovanni's paternity and spoke about how he tried to integrate her into the Jackson family. Unfortunately, despite his efforts, Giovanni faced ongoing rejection from several members of the family, especially after her mother revealed the affair publicly. Giovanni's story is one of resilience, as she has spent much of her life outside the fame and fortune that the Jackson family enjoyed. Despite the initial cold reception, Giovanni has made peace with her complicated relationship with her father. She has publicly expressed her desire to be accepted into the Jackson family, and while her story was one of exclusion, she continues to embrace her heritage as the daughter of Joe Jackson. Her experiences serve as a stark reminder of the fractured nature of family relationships, particularly in the high-profile Jackson household, where secrets, rivalries, and betrayals have often overshadowed their many achievements. Liv Tyler. Liv Tyler, born on July 1, 1977, is one of Hollywood's most famous actresses, known for her roles in Armageddon, The Lord of the Rings, and The Incredible Hulk. However, Liv's journey to discovering her true paternity is one of Hollywood's most fascinating stories. For the first 8 years of her life, Liv believed that her biological father was Todd Rundgren, the famous rock musician and her mother's partner at the time. Her mother, Bebe Buell, a former model and singer, had a brief relationship with Steven Tyler, the lead singer of Aerosmith during the late 1970s. However, Buell kept the truth from Liv, and it wasn't until Liv was 8 years old that she discovered the shocking truth about her parentage. The moment of revelation came when Liv saw Mia Tyler Stevens' daughter with another woman at an Aerosmith concert. Liv had an epiphany noticing how much she resembled Mia, and soon afterward, Bebe confirmed that Steven Tyler was indeed her biological father. The revelation turned Liv's world upside down, as she had been raised by Todd Rundgren, who had always been a loving father figure in her life. While Rundgren's role in her upbringing had been nothing short of supportive, Liv had to adjust to the reality of her biological father's identity. Despite the initial shock, Liv developed a relationship with Steven Tyler, and the two have been close over the years. The discovery of her paternity brought Liv closer to her rock star father, and they have since forged a meaningful connection. Liv's story highlights the complexity of family dynamics in the public eye, particularly in a world where personal relationships can be shrouded in secrecy. It also speaks to the resilience of individuals in navigating their identity and family history amidst the pressures of fame and the media's prying eyes. Dina DiCioli. Dina DiCioli, born in 1963, is the daughter of the legendary action star Chuck Norris. The circumstances surrounding her birth were anything but conventional, as her father had a secret affair with Johanna, a woman he met while married to his first wife, Diane Holovich. This extramarital relationship resulted in Dina's birth, but Chuck Norris did not know about her existence until nearly 3 decades later. The affair had been kept secret from the public and even from Norris's wife at the time, leading to a major revelation when Dina contacted Norris in 1991. In an unusual twist, Dina wrote Chuck Norris a letter in 1991, revealing that she believed he was her father. Chuck, initially skeptical, was so moved by the heartfelt letter that he immediately accepted her as his daughter, despite not having known about her for all those years. This unexpected discovery was a significant moment in both their lives, and Norris welcomed her into his family with open arms. He later admitted that when they met, he felt an instant connection, and he knew that she was his child even before confirming it with a DNA test. Despite the initial shock, Chuck Norris's relationship with Dina blossomed, and she became part of his extended family. However, Dina's life and her paternity were marked by years of secrecy, with the truth about her being hidden from the public until she reached adulthood. Norris, known for his tough guy image, showed a softer side when it came to his newfound daughter accepting the situation and embracing his role as her father. Dina, for her part, expressed how important it was for her to finally connect with her biological father. Today, she has a relationship with Norris and his family, and her story is a reminder of the secrets and complexities that can exist even in the most public of families. Royalty Brown. Royalty Brown, born on March 27, 2014, is the daughter of famous R&B singer Chris Brown and model Nia Guzman-Amy. Her birth marked a major turning point in Chris Brown's personal life, as it led to public scrutiny and media attention that only intensified after the details of her paternity were revealed. At the time of Royalty's birth, Brown was in a long-term relationship with model Karusha Tron, which made the news even more controversial. The revelation that Brown had fathered a child with Guzman-Amy while still in a relationship with Tron sparked a media frenzy and a barrage of gossip and rumors. For months after Royalty's birth, Brown initially kept his paternity a secret, though the media soon caught wind of the situation. The truth was finally confirmed, and Chris Brown acknowledged his role as a father, even though he was no longer with Guzman-Amy at the time. The couple's relationship had been amicable, with Brown stepping up to co-parent Royalty, and their co-parenting arrangement has been public, especially as the media followed their every move. Over the years, Chris Brown's bond with Royalty has grown stronger, with the singer often sharing photos of his daughter on social media, showing his fans a more personal side of him. He even dedicated his 2015 album, Royalty, to his daughter, further solidifying his connection with her. Despite the dramatic circumstances surrounding her birth, Royalty has become a central figure in Brown's life, and he has openly expressed how much she means to him. Today, Royalty Brown enjoys a life filled with love and attention from her father, and the drama that initially surrounded her birth seems to have settled. She is often seen with Chris Brown at public events, and the bond between father and daughter has become stronger over the years. Royalty's story is one of resilience, love, and personal growth, with her father's public transformation and her presence in his life symbolizing a positive shift in his personal and professional journey. Jet Williams. Jet Williams, born just days after Hank Williams Sr. passed away in 1953, has one of the most heartbreaking and complicated stories in country music history. She is the result of an affair between Williams, the iconic country singer, and a Nashville secretary named Bobby Webb. After Williams's tragic death at the age of 29, Jet's existence was kept secret. Webb, who was pregnant with Jet, worked out a deal with Williams to raise the baby as his own with his new wife, Billie Jean. But after Williams's sudden death from an overdose, everything fell apart. Following Hank Williams's death, Jet was surrendered to Hank's mother, Lily Williams, who adopted her. The family's tumultuous situation became even more complicated when just 2 years after Hank Sr.'s death, Lily died, and Jet was placed in foster care. The lack of acceptance from the Williams family only deepened as Jet grew up with many rumors circulating about her true paternity. Jet's early years were marked by hardship and confusion as she moved between foster homes, never truly knowing where she belonged. At age 21, she discovered the truth about her parentage, and it was only then that she learned about her father, Hank Williams Sr. As an adult, she struggled to find her place within the Williams family, having faced rejection and neglect from those who should have embraced her. Her journey is filled with emotional scars, but she has written about her life experiences, including her eventual reconciliation with the legacy of her father. Despite the heartache, Jet Williams' life has become a testament to survival, perseverance, and the quest for identity. She eventually gained recognition as Hank Williams Sr.'s daughter, and her story highlights the often painful realities of life for the children of famous figures, particularly those born out of affairs and hidden away from the public eye. Sophia Law. Sophia Law, born in 2009, is the love child of British actor Jude Law and American model Samantha Burke, a former waitress at Hooters. Their brief affair started while Law was filming Sherlock Holmes in New York, but their relationship was kept private and relatively low profile. When Burke announced that she was pregnant with Law's child, the revelation shocked both the public and the tabloids, as Law was already a father to 3 children from his previous relationships and was known for his high-profile romantic entanglements. Law initially demanded a paternity test to confirm the fatherhood of the child, and when the results were clear, he publicly acknowledged Sophia as his daughter. He had previously been a part of his other children's lives, but his acknowledgement of Sophia created a significant amount of press coverage and scrutiny. In the years that followed, Law maintained a limited involvement in Sophia's life. He reportedly sees her only once a year, and there are reports that Sophia wishes to build a closer bond with her father, particularly during family holidays. Sophia's mother, Samantha, has been very protective of her daughter's privacy and has worked to keep her life shielded from the intense media attention that typically follows the children of celebrities. Sophia, who has grown up in the spotlight, is the subject of occasional media reports, but she is kept away from most of the public exposure that her famous father faces regularly. Law's estranged relationship with Sophia has been a source of public interest, but it has also raised questions about how celebrities handle paternity and responsibility toward children born from brief affairs. Sophia's story reflects the complexities of fatherhood in the public eye, especially when a child's birth is the result of a short-lived and private relationship. While Law's acknowledgement of Sophia shows a commitment to his paternal duties, the limited involvement has painted a picture of a complicated father-daughter relationship that continues to evolve. Allegra Houston. Allegra Houston, born in 1964, is the daughter of famed Hollywood director John Huston and his mistress Enrica Soma. Her story is one of mystery, family secrets, and unexpected twists that have shaped her personal and professional life. Allegra's mother, Enrica, was an actress who worked with John Huston in the 1950s. Despite their relationship, John was married at the time to his third wife, Ruth Ford, which kept Allegra's birth shrouded in secrecy for years. Allegra was born in Italy during a time when John Huston's career was flourishing. However, the affair between John and Enrica was kept a secret, with John remaining in a marriage with Ruth. When Enrica passed away in 1969, John took on the responsibility of raising Allegra, ensuring she was taken care of despite the complexities surrounding her birth. Allegra was later adopted by John Huston and raised alongside his other children from previous marriages. The most significant aspect of Allegra's life was the deep emotional and psychological impact of growing up in a family where secrets and betrayals were a common thread. Allegra had to navigate through the shadows of Hollywood and her father's complex relationships. Despite her family's tumultuous dynamics, Allegra pursued a career as a writer, eventually releasing an autobiography called Love Child, a Memoir of Family Lost and Found, in which she reflected on her difficult journey to reconcile her complicated past. Her story highlights how even in the most renowned Hollywood families, personal truths and family dynamics can remain concealed for years. Allegra's experiences underscore how hidden relationships and secrets can shape the lives of children in unexpected ways. Despite the hardships, Allegra remains a successful author and finds peace in embracing her story, offering insights into the complexities of growing up in a family intertwined with fame, power, and secrecy. Joshua Eustace. Joshua Eustace, born in 1980, is the son of actor Naveen Andrews, best known for his role as Syed Jara in the iconic TV series Lost, and actress Barbara Hershey, who has appeared in films like The Entity and Black Swan. Joshua's story is one of unexpected fatherhood and surprising revelations, particularly because his parents kept their relationship largely out of the public eye for years. Joshua's birth was a consequence of a brief affair between the two actors, which had been kept under wraps, leaving many to speculate about the details of their relationship. The affair between Andrews and Hershey was reportedly short-lived, but had a lasting impact, particularly when Joshua was born. Despite their short-lived relationship, Andrews and Hershey's connection remained amicable, though their personal lives remained private. In 2011, after a period of separation, Andrews publicly acknowledged his son, confirming that Joshua was indeed his child. The revelation came as a surprise to many, as both Andrews and Hershey had managed to keep their private lives away from the prying eyes of the media. Joshua grew up relatively quietly, far removed from the paparazzi and media frenzy that often surrounded his famous parents. Though Andrews and Hershey were not romantically involved, they worked together to raise Joshua in a more stable and private environment, with Andrews playing a significant role in his upbringing. Joshua has largely stayed out of the spotlight, but as the son of two talented actors, his own journey into adulthood has sparked some curiosity. Despite the secrecy surrounding his birth, Joshua has managed to maintain a relatively low-profile life. His connection to Hollywood through his parents' careers serves as a reminder that even in an industry defined by public spectacle, some children grow up away from the intense media glare. Joshua's life remains private, but his parents' acknowledgement of him over the years indicates a deep, if unconventional, bond. Scott Eastwood. Scott Eastwood, born March 21, 1986, is the son of legendary actor and director Clint Eastwood and actress Jaslyn Reeves, a relationship that was kept secret for many years. Scott's birth was not publicly acknowledged at the time, as Clint Eastwood was still married to his second wife, Sandra Locke, and had been involved in various other relationships. Jaslyn and Clint had a brief affair in the mid-1980s, which resulted in Scott's birth. However, at the time, Clint Eastwood did not publicly acknowledge Scott as his son, and Scott was raised by his mother, Jaslyn, in Hawaii. Growing up, Scott had little public connection to his famous father. He was raised in relative privacy, and Clint Eastwood's absence from his life was noted, though there was no public recognition of his paternity until much later. In the mid-2000s, as Scott entered his adult years and began pursuing a career in acting, his famous last name began to attract attention. However, Clint Eastwood did not publicly acknowledge his son until 2002, when he confirmed that he had fathered Scott with Jaslyn. Scott Eastwood, who had always been determined to make it on his own in Hollywood, initially faced skepticism about his acting career due to his family connections. He worked hard to establish himself as an actor in his own right, starring in films like Gran Torino Fury and The Longest Ride. Over time, Scott has carved out a successful career in Hollywood, and though his relationship with his father was strained during his younger years, the two have grown closer in recent years. Scott's resemblance to Clint, both in looks and demeanor, has led to comparisons, but he has always emphasized that he has worked hard to make his own mark in the entertainment industry. Today, Scott Eastwood is considered one of Hollywood's rising stars, following in his father's footsteps while navigating the complexities of being the son of one of the most famous actors in history. Catherine Eastwood. Catherine Eastwood, born February 11, 1989, is another of Clint Eastwood's secret children, the product of a relationship he had with flight attendant Jaslyn Reeves, whom he was romantically involved with during the 1980s. Catherine's birth, much like her brother Scott's, was kept quiet for many years, and she was not publicly acknowledged as Clint Eastwood's daughter until much later. The relationship between Clint and Jaslyn was short-lived, and after Catherine's birth, she was raised primarily by her mother, away from the public eye. Catherine Eastwood grew up in a quiet and private environment away from the media spotlight. While her famous father's career was taking off, she led a more ordinary life with her mother providing the care and stability she needed. It wasn't until Catherine entered adulthood that her connection to Clint Eastwood became widely known. Though Clint had a reputation for having multiple relationships and children, Catherine and Scott were not brought into the public fold until much later, leaving many curious about their upbringing and family dynamics. Catherine followed her father's footsteps into the entertainment industry, pursuing a career as an actress and director. She appeared in a few films and is also known for her work as a producer. One of the most notable aspects of Catherine's career is her desire to carve out her own identity in Hollywood, separate from her famous father's legacy. She has publicly expressed how challenging it was to grow up with a famous father, but has also noted that she never sought special treatment in her own career. Unlike some of Clint Eastwood's other children, Catherine has largely avoided the spotlight, choosing to focus on her professional life. Her story, however, serves as a reminder of the complexities and hidden relationships that exist in Hollywood, where some children remain in the shadows despite their connection to legendary figures. Krishna, Thea Lakshmi Dell. Thea Lakshmi Dell, born in September 2010, is the daughter of model actress and TV personality Padma Lakshmi and businessman Adam Dell. Padma, known for hosting Top Chef and her work as an author and activist, had a private relationship with Adam Dell, a venture capitalist and brother of Michael Dell, the founder of Dell Technologies. The couple's relationship was kept relatively quiet, and they never made public their involvement in raising Krishna together, as their relationship ended shortly after her birth. Krishna's birth was a significant turning point in Padma Lakshmi's life, as it marked the transition from her highly public career to a more private, motherhood-focused lifestyle. Initially, the paternity of Krishna was not publicly confirmed until Padma shared the news in a more private and understated way. Adam Dell, who was reportedly involved in the early stages of her life, has had a somewhat complicated relationship with Padma. Despite their separation, Adam and Padma have managed to co-parent their daughter in a way that keeps her life as private and normal as possible, away from the media frenzy. Padma has often spoken about her decision to raise Krishna as a single mother, choosing to balance her career while nurturing her daughter's growth and well-being. While the details of her relationship with Adam Dell remain largely private, it's clear that Padma has prioritized her daughter's happiness and stability over the years, making efforts to shield Krishna from the public eye. Krishna has been seen occasionally on Padma's social media, but Padma has remained protective of her daughter's privacy, keeping her childhood away from the scrutiny that often accompanies celebrity children. Krishna Thea Lakshmi Dell's story is one of quiet resilience, where her mother has created a space where her daughter can grow up away from the public eye, despite the high-profile nature of both of her parents. Abby Harris. Abby Harris, born in 1986, is the secret daughter of British actor Sir David Jason, famous for his role as Del Boy in Only Fools and Horses. Abby's birth came as a complete surprise to the public and was kept hidden for more than 50 years. Sir David Jason, known for his long-standing relationship with actress Gillian Hennessy, was already in a committed partnership when he fathered Abby with a woman named Heather, who was a friend of the family at the time. Abby was raised in relative obscurity, with her connection to the famous actor remaining a closely guarded secret. It wasn't until 2017 that Sir David Jason revealed that he had a daughter, which shocked both the public and his fans. In an emotional statement, Jason confessed that he had not known of Abby's existence until she reached out to him after being raised by her mother. The revelation came during an interview when Jason spoke about the surprise discovery of his daughter, who had written to him as an adult to inform him of her identity. Despite the initial shock, Sir David Jason welcomed Abby into his life, and the two have since developed a relationship. He has expressed how pleased he is to have her in his family, and how he is making up for lost time. Abby, for her part, has spoken about the difficulties of growing up not knowing her father, but she has also embraced her newfound relationship with him and his family. Abby Harris's story highlights the often hidden lives of children born from secret relationships in the entertainment world. It also shows the complexities and emotional impact of growing up without a parent, only to discover later in life that they were connected to someone famous. Despite the decades of secrecy, Abby has found a way to integrate into the extended Jason family, and her journey is a testament to the resilience of those who navigate complicated family dynamics. Tabitha Shousey Grant. Tabitha Shousey Grant, born in September 2011, is the daughter of British actor Hugh Grant and Chinese actress and former student Tinglin Hong. Their relationship, which was brief and largely kept private, led to the birth of Tabitha and caught the public off guard. Hugh Grant, known for his roles in romantic comedies like Four Weddings and A Funeral and Notting Hill, was already in a long-term relationship with Elizabeth Hurley at the time of Tabitha's birth, making the revelation of his paternity a major tabloid story. In the face of the media frenzy that followed the announcement, Grant was initially reluctant to embrace fatherhood publicly. In fact, he was so protective of his privacy that he skipped his daughter's birth and only visited her a few days afterward, reportedly due to the intense media pressure surrounding the situation. He later stated that he was keen to see his daughter as soon as possible, even if it could only be for a short time. However, despite the tumultuous start, Grant eventually warmed to the idea of being a father, and he has maintained an amicable co-parenting relationship with Tinglin Hong even after their romantic involvement ended. Despite the early secrecy and the media circus surrounding her birth, Tabitha has grown up largely out of the public eye. Hugh Grant has since fathered other children and moved on from his past relationships, but his bond with Tabitha has remained positive. He has continued to express how much being a father has changed his perspective on life, and he seems to embrace his role as Tabitha's father. Tabitha's story is a reminder of the complexities of modern celebrity relationships, where public scrutiny and private lives often collide. While her early years were filled with the controversy surrounding her father's private affairs, she has grown up to be a quiet presence in the public, shielded from the overwhelming media attention that often surrounds the children of famous figures. Caleb Goddard. Caleb Goddard, born in 1975, is the son of Jack Nicholson, one of Hollywood's most iconic actors, and Anka Spock, an actress known for her brief roles in the 1970s. Caleb's paternity remained a secret for several years, with his mother raising him in private and keeping his father's identity hidden from the public eye. It wasn't until Caleb was an adult that the truth about his parentage emerged, much to the surprise of both the public and Nicholson's fan base. Jack Nicholson, at the time of Caleb's birth, was involved in a complex web of relationships, including his long-term relationship with actress Anjelica Huston, with whom he had a turbulent and high-profile romance. However, during his affair with Anka Spock, she became pregnant with Caleb. Nicholson, though aware of the pregnancy, never publicly acknowledged his son. In fact, Caleb was raised by Spock and her husband, who adopted him, and Caleb had no knowledge of his biological father's identity growing up. It wasn't until Caleb was in his 20s that he discovered that Jack Nicholson was his biological father. The revelation came when he was told about Nicholson's role in his conception, but his father had kept his distance and was hesitant to officially recognize him. Although the connection was undeniable, Nicholson never fully embraced a relationship with Caleb, though he did support him financially, ensuring his education and well-being. Nicholson's acknowledgement of Caleb was largely private and out of the public spotlight. Despite the initial confusion and the emotional challenges that came with the late discovery of his biological father, Caleb has expressed his understanding of the situation. He has maintained a quiet life separate from the chaos that often surrounds celebrity families, preferring to live out of the limelight. Caleb Goddard's story is a poignant example of the hidden lives of celebrity children and the complex, sometimes painful dynamics of growing up without knowing one's true parentage until later in life. Honey Holman. Honey Holman, born in 1981, is the secret daughter of legendary actor Jack Nicholson and Danish model Winnie Holman. The affair between Nicholson and Holman, which took place during the 1980s, while Nicholson was involved with his longtime partner, Anjelica Huston, resulted in the birth of Honey. but the relationship was kept hidden from the public for years. At the time of her birth, Nicholson was already a prominent Hollywood figure, and his romantic entanglements were closely scrutinized. However, the affair with Holman remained largely under wraps, and Honey was raised in Denmark away from the public eye. Honey's birth and her connection to Nicholson were kept a secret for many years, with the actress-turned-model raising her daughter in Europe. It wasn't until much later that the truth about Honey's parentage came to light. Nicholson's involvement in her life remained minimal during her childhood, and Honey was primarily raised by her mother in Denmark, far from the Hollywood spotlight. Despite this, Nicholson's famous reputation and complex personal relationships meant that Honey's birth eventually became a topic of media speculation and interest. In the years following her discovery, Honey had limited contact with her father, and their relationship remained distant, although Nicholson acknowledged her existence. His recognition of Honey's paternity came years after her birth, though he was not involved in her upbringing. Honey has chosen to live a life away from the constant public attention that surrounds her famous father, and she has only occasionally appeared in the media. Nicholson's reluctance to embrace his daughter publicly added an extra layer of complexity to her already difficult family dynamics. Today, Honey Holman lives a relatively private life, largely outside the media's gaze. Her story highlights the complexities of growing up as the secret child of a celebrity, where family secrets are kept hidden for years before being brought into the public light. Ashley Kaufman. Ashley Kaufman, born in 1983, is the half-sister of actress Lindsay Lohan, and the result of an affair between Lindsay's father, Michael Lohan, and Christy Horn, a massage therapist. The affair occurred during the 1990s, and Ashley's existence remained hidden for years. Michael Lohan, a media personality known for his tumultuous relationship with Lindsay, initially denied his paternity when he was first confronted with the possibility of being Ashley's father. However, a paternity test confirmed that Michael was indeed Ashley's biological father. Ashley's story came to light in 2005 when a court ordered Michael to be added to her birth certificate after the paternity test results proved his connection to her. Prior to this, Ashley had been raised by her mother and had no public connection to the Lohan family. As a child, Ashley lived a relatively quiet life in Montana, far removed from the high-profile drama that surrounded her father's relationship with Lindsay and his media presence. In a 2005 interview, Ashley revealed how shocking it was to learn that Michael Lohan was her father. She also shared how she felt when Michael initially denied her paternity and how difficult it was to grow up without knowing him. The confirmation of their familial connection was a pivotal moment in Ashley's life, and although she was thrust into the public spotlight, she maintained a sense of normalcy. Despite the media attention, Ashley has chosen to keep a low profile, preferring to live her life out of the public eye. Ashley Kaufman's story is a complex one filled with emotional turmoil and family secrecy. While she now has a relationship with her father, her life before the public acknowledgement of her paternity remains a mystery to many. Her story serves as a reminder of the hidden lives of celebrity children, often marked by secrecy, late life discoveries, and the personal struggles that come with them. Laurie Murray. Laurie Murray, born 1964, is one of the secret daughters of legendary actor Clint Eastwood. She was the product of a relationship Eastwood had with a woman named Jacqueline Johnson during the early 1960s, while he was still married to his first wife, Maggie Johnson. This hidden affair remained a secret for many years, and Laurie was raised by her mother in relative obscurity, far from the Hollywood limelight that often surrounded Eastwood's personal and professional life. Laurie's birth was never publicly acknowledged, and she grew up unaware of her famous father's identity. Her mother, who had a serious relationship with Clint Eastwood while he was still married, gave Laurie up for adoption shortly after her birth, and she was raised in a family that had no direct connection to Hollywood. It wasn't until Laurie was much older, around the age of 30, that she began searching for her biological roots. She eventually hired a private investigator who helped her track down the truth about her parentage. In the early 1990s, Laurie discovered that Clint Eastwood was her father. She reached out to him, and after an emotional meeting, Eastwood confirmed the truth, but he was not initially involved in her life in any significant way. Over time, Eastwood developed a relationship with Laurie, though their connection has remained distant compared to his relationship with his other children. Laurie's discovery of her famous father was a monumental moment in her life, and it forced her to navigate the complexities of having a father who was both a Hollywood legend and a private man. Despite the rocky beginning to their relationship, Laurie has built a more understanding connection with her father in recent years. While her story is one of late discovery and hidden truths, it also highlights the complexities of navigating family relationships in the public eye, especially when a parent's legacy is shaped by fame and secrecy. Tessa Guerin. Tessa Guerin, born in 1992, is the secret daughter of legendary actor Jack Nicholson. Tessa's paternity was kept hidden for years, and her existence was only revealed to the public in 2016. She is one of several children of Nicholson who grew up without knowing her biological father, as he was involved in a brief affair with Gail Lowe, a woman Nicholson met during the 1990s. Their brief romance resulted in Tessa's birth, but she was raised by her mother, and the connection to Nicholson remained undisclosed. Tessa's story is one of late recognition and public disclosure. Like many children of famous parents, Tessa was kept away from the media spotlight, with her mother choosing to raise her privately. Despite the secrecy surrounding her birth, Tessa eventually learned the truth about her paternity as an adult. The discovery of Jack Nicholson as her biological father came as a shock, especially because Nicholson, who had already fathered several children through other relationships, had kept his connection to Tessa a secret for most of her life. When Tessa contacted Nicholson in her 20s to confirm her paternity, she received a warm response from him, and he accepted her as his daughter. Though the relationship had started late, Nicholson acknowledged his responsibility as a father and offered financial support. However, Tessa expressed her feelings of hurt and confusion as she grew up not knowing her father, while watching him enjoy public relationships with his other children. Tessa's story, much like many children of celebrities, is marked by emotional conflict and a late search for identity and belonging. Today, Tessa Guerin is building a relationship with her father, but the journey to reconciliation has been complex. Her story exemplifies the complications that arise when parent-child relationships are hidden from the public, especially in the case of famous figures whose personal lives often remain in the shadows. Jonathan Berkery. Jonathan Berkery, born in 1989, is the secret son of British singer and legendary crooner Tom Jones. Jonathan's birth was the result of an affair that Jones had with a woman named Catherine Berkery, a model and former waitress in the late 1980s. At the time, Tom Jones was married to his wife Linda Trenchard and was living the life of a famous globe-trotting performer. Despite the affair, Jones did not publicly acknowledge Jonathan's paternity for many years, and the details surrounding the birth were kept largely private. Catherine Berkery raised Jonathan as a single mother, and Jones had little to no involvement in his life. However, when Jonathan was a teenager, he discovered that his father was the famous singer, which led him to pursue legal action to prove paternity. In 1989, Jonathan's mother filed a paternity suit against Jones, and after a lengthy court battle, a DNA test confirmed that Tom Jones was indeed his biological father. The legal proceedings and media attention surrounding Jonathan's paternity made headlines as Tom Jones was forced to acknowledge his son. However, Jones initially expressed reluctance in embracing the relationship. Over the years, Jonathan and Tom's relationship remained strained, with Jones maintaining a limited connection to his son. Despite the legal acknowledgement, Jones never publicly took an active role in Jonathan's upbringing, and the bond between father and son remained distant. Jonathan Berkery has since lived a relatively private life, but he has occasionally spoken about his experiences growing up without knowing his father. The story of Jonathan's paternity highlights the complexities of celebrity relationships, especially when they involve extramarital affairs and the secrecy that often surrounds them. Although Jonathan now has legal recognition as Tom Jones's son, their personal relationship remains distant, and Jonathan continues to navigate the complexities of being the hidden child of a famous figure. Nora Elizabeth Taylor. Nora Elizabeth Taylor, born in 1949, was the secret love child of Hollywood icon Elizabeth Taylor, and a man whose identity remained a mystery for many years. The story of Nora's birth is marked by secrecy and scandal, as Taylor, one of the most famous actresses of her time, had an affair that resulted in Nora's conception. At the time, Taylor was married to Mike Todd, but her extramarital affair with a mysterious man led to her pregnancy. Nora's birth was kept hidden from the public, and she was raised by a family in Ireland far away from the limelight of Hollywood. As a child, Nora had no idea that Elizabeth Taylor was her biological mother. It was only later in life that she learned the truth about her parentage, which came as a shock. Elizabeth Taylor, who had always been very private about her personal life, never publicly acknowledged Nora, and her relationship with her daughter was kept a secret. When Nora found out that Elizabeth Taylor was her mother, she reportedly reached out to the actress, but Taylor never responded to her attempts to make contact. Taylor's family, including her other children, were reportedly unaware of Nora's existence for years. The secrecy surrounding Nora's birth and Taylor's reluctance to acknowledge her publicly added to the drama of this hidden chapter in Taylor's life. Nora Elizabeth Taylor's story was not fully revealed to the public until after Taylor's death in 2011, and it remains one of Hollywood's best-kept secrets. Nora's experience sheds light on the often hidden consequences of celebrity affairs and the emotional complexity of growing up without knowing one's biological parent. Nora's story reflects the deep layers of secrecy that celebrities sometimes hide even after their passing, leaving behind family members who may never fully be integrated into the public narrative of their famous parents' life. Michael Lindsay Hogg. Michael Lindsay Hogg, born on May 5, 1940, is the secret son of Orson Welles, the legendary director and actor known for Citizen Kane and Touch of Evil. Lindsay Hogg's story is one of hidden paternity and complex relationships deeply tied to the world of Hollywood and its famous figures. His mother, Irish-American actress Geraldine Fitzgerald, had a brief affair with Welles during the late 1930s, while he was married to his first wife, Virginia Nicholson. At the time, Welles was an emerging star, and Fitzgerald was an established actress in both theater and film. Lindsay Hogg grew up believing that his father was Sir Edward Lindsay Hogg, a British aristocrat who married his mother after her relationship with Welles ended. However, as he reached adulthood, Michael began to suspect that his real father was Orson Welles. Despite his suspicions, it wasn't until much later in life that Lindsay Hogg discovered the truth. His half-sister, Christopher Welles, was the one who made the connection and confirmed that Orson Welles was indeed his biological father. The revelation of Welles being his father came with its own emotional complexity. Michael Lindsay Hogg, who had worked as a director and producer in his own right, known for directing The Beatles' Let It Be and other notable projects, had a strained relationship with his biological father. Welles, known for his complicated personal life, had little involvement in Michael's upbringing, and their relationship remained distant. In interviews, Lindsay Hogg has spoken about the emotional toll of growing up without a true understanding of his paternity. Lindsay Hogg's discovery of his father's identity and his own place in the Welles legacy came late, but he eventually embraced the connection. Despite this late recognition, he chose to focus on his own career, carving out his own path in the entertainment world, separate from the shadow of his famous father. His story remains one of Hollywood's hidden family secrets, shaped by the complexities of paternity and the emotional fallout that comes with uncovering long-buried truths. Carol Ann Chaplin. Carol Ann Chaplin, born October 2, 1943, is the secret daughter of Charlie Chaplin, one of the most famous and influential figures in the history of cinema. Carol Ann's birth resulted from Chaplin's affair with Joan Barry, a young actress with whom he had a brief relationship while still married to his third wife, Paulette Goddard. Their affair led to Barry's pregnancy, and ultimately to a highly publicized paternity battle. Barry accused Chaplin of being the father of her child, and took him to court in 1944 to prove his paternity. The ensuing legal battle was one of the most scandalous of the time, as Chaplin vehemently denied being the father despite his obvious resemblance to Carol Ann. Chaplin's defense included denying paternity and accusing Barry of trying to trap him into a scandal. The case went to trial twice, and in 1945 the jury ruled in favor of Barry declaring Chaplin to be Carol Ann's father. Despite the court's decision, Chaplin refused to publicly acknowledge his daughter, and he distanced himself from the situation as much as possible. As a result of the court ruling, Chaplin was ordered to pay child support for Carol Ann, but he had no direct involvement in her upbringing. Barry, who had raised Carol Ann alone, was largely responsible for her upbringing, and Chaplin's presence in her life remained minimal. In interviews, Carol Ann spoke about the difficulty of growing up without a father and how she always felt like an outsider, especially given Chaplin's fame and the media circus that followed their family's legal battles. Though Carol Ann's paternity was acknowledged in court, her relationship with her father was strained and remained largely non-existent. Despite her father's avoidance of any direct connection, Carol Ann has continued to live her life outside the shadows of Chaplin's legacy. Her story highlights the emotional complexity of being the hidden child of a Hollywood legend and the toll that public battles and secrecy can take on an individual's sense of identity and belonging. Roberto Rossellini, Jr. Roberto Rossellini, Jr., born in 1962, is the son of legendary Italian director Roberto Rossellini and American actress Ingrid Bergman. The circumstances surrounding his birth are tangled in scandal, as his mother was married to her second husband, Lars Schmidt, when she was involved in a highly publicized affair with Rossellini. Their affair, which started during the making of the film Stromboli in 1949, caused a global uproar, as Bergman was one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses, and her affair with Rossellini was viewed as a major scandal in the media. Roberto Rossellini Jr. was the product of this controversial relationship. However, his birth was not publicly acknowledged by either of his famous parents for some time. Ingrid Bergman had been married to Schmidt when she became pregnant with Roberto, and the media widely speculated that his true paternity was unknown. Even though Rossellini had been the father, the couple was forced to maintain secrecy about their relationship and the child, as both their careers were at risk due to the public fallout. The couple eventually married, but not before a long, complicated series of divorces and personal struggles. The media circus surrounding Roberto's paternity never fully subsided, and he grew up in the shadows of his parents' highly public lives. Both of his parents struggled with the intense media scrutiny and the burden of being public figures. Despite the drama surrounding his early years, Roberto later chose to pursue a career in the arts, following in his father's footsteps by becoming involved in the film industry. Today, Roberto Rossellini Jr.'s life remains somewhat private. Although his paternity has long been confirmed, the effects of the scandal and the emotional fallout of his parents' affair have left a significant mark on his personal history. His life serves as a reminder of how celebrity affairs and public scandals can impact not only the individuals involved, but also the children born from those relationships. Rhonda Ross Kendrick. Rhonda Ross Kendrick, born in 1971, is the daughter of the iconic singer Diana Ross and Motown founder Berry Gordy. Rhonda's birth was the result of a secret affair between Diana Ross and Berry Gordy, and for years her paternity was not publicly acknowledged. Ross, known for her major influence on the music world as the lead singer of the Supremes, and Gordy, the man behind Motown Records, were at the center of a significant and passionate but covert relationship during the early years of Motown's success. For much of her childhood, Rhonda was led to believe that Bob Silverstein Ross's second husband was her father. It wasn't until Rhonda was 13 years old that she discovered the truth about her biological father. At this time, Diana Ross sat her down and explained that Berry Gordy was her real father. Rhonda was reportedly shocked and confused by this revelation, as she had grown up with a different family dynamic and had no idea that her relationship with Gordy was not that of a typical father-daughter relationship. Although Rhonda initially struggled with the news, she eventually came to terms with her true paternity. Over time, she developed a relationship with Gordy, though it was not without its challenges. Growing up as the daughter of two powerful figures in the music industry, Rhonda was no stranger to the pressures that came with being part of the legendary Ross family. Despite the early confusion about her family, Rhonda was determined to find her own way and pursue her passions outside of her parents' shadows. Today, Rhonda Ross Kendrick is a successful singer-actress and advocate for social justice. She has carved out her own career and identity, embracing both her legacy as the daughter of Diana Ross and Berry Gordy and her own individuality. Rhonda's journey reflects the complexities of navigating a famous family history, particularly when secrets and family dynamics are involved. Her life has been marked by resilience, personal growth, and a dedication to her own artistic path. Judy Lewis. Judy Lewis, born on November 6, 1935, is the daughter of legendary Hollywood actress Loretta Young and actor Clark Gable. Her birth was one of Hollywood's most closely guarded secrets and became one of the most scandalous stories of its time. Young, who was known for her angelic roles in films like The Bishop's Wife and Call of the Wild, and Gable, famous for his role in Gone with the Wind, had an affair during the filming of Key to the City in the early 1930s. At the time, Young was still publicly portraying a wholesome image, while Gable was known for his playboy persona. When Judy was born, Young, who was unmarried at the time, went to great lengths to conceal the paternity of her child. She was determined to keep the affair a secret, especially due to Gable's ongoing marriage to Maria Franklin, which was at risk of being destroyed by the public knowledge of his affair with Young. Young took extreme measures to protect her reputation and keep her daughter's true parentage under wraps. Judy was adopted by Young and raised as her daughter with no public acknowledgement of her biological father, Clark Gable. For many years, Judy was kept in the dark about her true father's identity. She believed that Young was her biological mother and that she had been adopted by the actress. It wasn't until Judy was 31 years old on her wedding day that Young finally confessed the truth. She revealed that Gable was Judy's biological father, a revelation that shocked Judy and drastically changed her understanding of her identity. Young's confession was the beginning of Judy's journey to understanding the complexities of her birth and the secrecy that had shrouded her life. Judy Lewis went on to become an actress herself, appearing in a variety of television roles, most notably in The Love Boat and General Hospital. She also wrote an autobiography, Uncommon Knowledge, in which she detailed her experiences growing up in secrecy and learning the truth about her famous father. Judy's life is a poignant reminder of the personal struggles and hidden truths that often lie beneath the glittering surface of Hollywood stardom. Hollywood has long been a breeding ground for scandals, and some of the most jaw-dropping secrets have involved the children born from forbidden affairs. From hidden paternities to public battles over identity, these secret offspring have lived in the shadows of their famous parents. Names like Augustine James, Evangelista Jet Williams, and Brandon Howard reveal a side of Tinseltown that most fans never see. As these children are brought into the light, it raises the question, how much should the public know about the personal lives of celebrities and their hidden families? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Uncovered Tinseltown. Uncovered for